Hi, I'm Denise Applegate-Schober, and we're in the studio software for Silhouette to cut with our Cameo. I'm going to teach you how to cut paper. We'll talk about the characteristics of paper and what best papers to use, what's best with your cutting settings, and we're going to cut what are known as little snowball ornaments or snowball little mobiles. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go and open the file. This file here is found in the Cam Studio software already. The Cameo Studio software changes it to a studio file, but I want to look at all files that we have here. So we have a PDF file. If we go and open that PDF file, it may tell you that it's not supported. So you want to make sure that your computer is to the latest and greatest software that you have on your computer in order to open it. So if I go in here to my desktop and I go to that same file folder here and we'll open it, and there's the PDF file. So we're going to open that file. And there they are. So I could screen capture these files. So you could save it to your computer by screen capturing it and then save it as a JPEG file. Depending on what computer you have, you can screen capture by touching an icon on your keyboard that is print screen. And when you print the screen, what will happen is you'll have it as a copied file out there in the air. You can't see it, but it's out there copied. You can then paste that to a paint program, an art program, and save that file as a JPEG. So I've already completed that on this computer. So here's the file here that I have. So this file is a JPEG. You can see it's a JPEG, and this will allow me to make this into a cut paper file. So if I go to Open and I tell it All Files, we're going to want to open the JPEG file, and we'll tell it OK. So there's our JPEG file. Now I can hold that file. I can move it on the screen. We can resize it by clicking the corner and making it larger or smaller, depending on what you do. I'm going to make it about 5 inches, just so we can see it nice and big on our screen. Okay, so there's our file. Now, a couple things about this file. If I go over here to the trace window, we can select the trace area that we would like to turn into a cut file. To do that, I'm going to undo what I did, and I'm going to walk you through the steps. Select the trace area, so click on that. And now your image has nothing around it, has no size, nothing around that. If you left mouse click in the top left-hand corner of that design, you will be able to select it. So let me undo and show you how to do that. Click Select Trace Area, left mouse click in the top left-hand corner, and drag your mouse from the top left-hand corner over the image, like that. Now you see a faint yellow line. Depending on the quality of your image, that line could change. So I can make that line very crisp and bright by changing the high pass filter. So I'm sliding the slider bar on the high pass filter to make that line a solid yellow line. Now, we need to decide, are we going to cut inside and outside, or are we going to detach? So if we cut inside and outside, let me show you what we get. We get a line that goes all the way around that black line. So that really isn't what we're looking for. If we cut outside only, we're only getting the outside of the area. If we cut inside, detach and trace and detach, then what happens is we could get the whole thing. So I'm going to show you My preferred selection is to select this design and trace the outer edge. So we're going to do that first. Then we're going to make red lines along the lines where it isn't going to cut at the moment. Red lines will cut, black line is our image. So we could go in here and we can edit these lines. So you can see there are lots and lots of nodes. So if I zoom in even farther, you're going to see that we have lots and lots of nodes. Okay, I can then select one of these nodes and you'll see that the red line is there. I can select one of these nodes and change this line. Or we could literally just draw a straight line from here to here. So let me show you how to do that. So if you click on, select the icon, select, okay. I'm going to undo that line I just drew. All right. Select line. So there's our line. Put a dot at the end here and a dot right there. We have now just created a straight line for the Cameo to cut. So let's do that again so you can see it. Okay. Oop, my line is still attached to me. There's our line. We're just going to delete this. We can cut it with the cut. Okay, let's zoom back in. So I'm going to click on line, click here, and click here, and I'm going to get a line. So those are the 2 points you want to click. Let me zoom back in. So this line, just to show you, will go right here. Now, the really neat part about this line is I have a single line. I only have to draw a single line, because what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to move this line, duplicate this line exactly where we need it. Now on your keyboard, you can use your nudge feature and you can literally nudge this to move this where you want it. So I'm going to be very precise on where I want it. Lining everything up. Okay, so now I'm going to select that line. Here's my line. I can duplicate it. I can copy it. So I copied it. Came out a little big, but we can do that. Copy, paste. It's because the line that I pasted was an old line. So now I can move this to here. I can click on this node, and I don't need that node, so I'm going to delete it. So there's my line where I needed it. Do that all the way around this piece. So again, I'm going to copy, paste. Here's my line. Sometimes it's hard to click on the exact line you want. I line up one of the nodes, grab the other node, and move it. And move it exactly where you want it. Now, let's zoom in because you want those red lines to be touching. So I'm going to move this one to here and this one to here. So they must be touching to cut. Now let's go up just a little bit. And let's make sure that this line is touching. So this one's not touching either. Click on Edit Node, touch the line to the line, bring this one to here, and that extra node we have there, we're going to delete it. When it's white, it will delete, but I deleted the whole piece. There we go. Okay, zoom to fit icon is right up here at the top. This icon right here. And if you mouse over it, you'll get your little icon that tells you what it is. So we've got 2 lines complete. Let's copy again and paste. Control D is duplicate. Zoom in. Let's move this line where we need it to be. So let's move this one here. Edit the nodes. We don't have that extra node because the one I copied and pasted was the one without the extra node. Got to grab a hold of that exact node and move it. And now I have an extra node, so I'm going to go in and edit. There it is. Delete when it's white, and now I have a line for each of these. So there's a line here, 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 and here. As long as they touch, okay, it will cut as one line. Now let's go to Object, and let's, no, not Object, excuse me. We're going to select all. So you can do a couple things. You can go to File and select all under Edit, or Control A. So we've selected all. Now go to Object and let's group. And what that does is allows us to move everything as one unit, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the fill bucket and fill this red. And notice what happens. It fills the picture and it fills the background. All I want to fill is the inside of this piece. So that tells me there's a hole somewhere, and I can see it right here. There's a hole. So go in and edit and make sure that all of these things are touching, because if they're not touching, it's not going to cut as one line. Let me ungroup it for a moment. There we go. That one's touching. That one's touching. This one is not. That one's touching. And let's go to the bottom. This one is not. There we go. Now when we zoom to fit, we have one design. So let's select all, go up by File to Edit, select all, Object, Group. Now we have one. Let's multiply on our page. So let's duplicate, or let's even fill the page. So fill the page really doesn't fill the page well. So let's undo that. So sometimes we're better at filling. So let's do 3 in a row, and let's line them up so they're very close to each other. And don't forget, you can rotate these if you need to get them to fit better. So the software only put 4 on a page. Let's see if we can get more. Copy, paste. I think we'll be able to get 5 or 6. and we'll rotate it to see. So there's 5, 6. Nope, can't fit any in there. So 6 is the most that we can get on one page. So now I'll go back up to Object and I will group, but I need to select all first. Select all, Object, Group, and now I have a set of 6 snowball pieces that we can cut. Now let's go over here to the cutter over in the far right hand corner. I do not have my silhouette connected at the moment, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to adjust the settings. So under your settings, we want to look at a few things. We're going to do a standard cut. So when you look at this, you could do a standard or advanced. For the paper, we're going to do a standard cut. Now, right now it's on no cut, cut edge, cut, perforate edge, perforate. So let's talk about the differences between these 4 items. Cut edge is really what we want. We want to cut the edge. We want to cut all the way around everything. We could cut inside and outside. Okay. We could perforate. So what perforate does is give you dash marks. And you can perforate inside and outside. So we're just going to set it at no cut for the moment. But most of your paper you're going to set at cut edge. Commonly used paper would be cardstock. Okay, cardstock is really a nice heavyweight paper that you can turn into little candy holders for baby and wedding showers or birthday parties. Cardstock can also be used to make gift cards with. A nice way to make a gift card would be to do it with your Cameo cutter. Then you have vinyl. So vinyl is going to be different. Now let's watch. So cardstock has the cutter set at 3. Vinyl has the cutter set at 1. Do you see the difference? Cardstock, vinyl. So what I'm going to use for my snowball is cardstock. There are other papers in here that you might choose from. There's adhesive back cardstock. That would be if you're going to make a sticky card that's stuck together. So there are a lot to choose from. So this will kind of help you to know how to do paper. So try to cut your snowballs, see how it works. There are other cut files that you have in your Cameo Cut library. Check those out. I think you'll have lots of fun cutting with paper.